Welcome to Queer News Tonight. This is the world's first and only LGBTQ plus daily news television show broadcasting live and available on demand on your favorite streaming channels.
Analytic company BIQ has certified the Queer News Tonight YouTube channel as the world's most popular LGBT streaming news show. Our queer stories have reached over 10 million views.
We are proud that Queer News Tonight has more YouTube subscribers than any other LGBTQ plus brand in Florida.
We thank you for watching and supporting our voices in our rainbow family. There is no other news program in the LGBTQ world like Queer News Tonight.
It is Wednesday, June 11th, the belly button of the week. I used to love when my teacher used to say that. We are live and literally out of the closet and into the headlines. So many of your important stories we'll tell this evening on Queer News Tonight.
You're watching Queer News Tonight, the world's first daily LGBTQ evening news show.
Welcome to the world's most important LGBTQ plus evening news show.
Hotspots Magazine Happening Out Television Network is a nonprofit 501c3 media company in the same model as PBS and NPR, but designed for the LGBTQ community.
Our non-profit mission is to support the 11 pillars of our LGBTQ plus community. We want to inform and educate the key issues of lesbian, trans, Latino, Black, healthcare, seniors, students, faith, social justice, business, and queer culture. Help us support our diverse community.
In 2025, our magazine is celebrating 40 years of the LGBTQ experience, and Queer News Tonight is celebrating our 5th anniversary with more than 10,000 LGBTQ television stories. We present Pride Fete in August, and we declare that love is in the air with Pride Fort Lauderdale on Valentine's Day, February 14th. Our magazine, events, television news, talk, and entertainment shows support our mission to educate the LGBTQ and broader community.
In 2025, more than 100 community leaders will sit at this table and share their voice as our anchors. Tonight, we host this show to support our diverse family. Let's meet today's anchors at Queer News Tonight. Let's welcome my Venezuelan brother back to the table. He's anchor Dino Mosquera. He joined the Miami Gay and Lesbian Film Festival in the late 90s and now serves on the Outshine Film Festival's board of directors. Yo, Dino, so Outshine Film LAYLA to light up Miami Beach Pride rooftop screening on June 22nd. Tell me what's happening out.
Yes, Outshine and Miami Beach Pride will present a special screening of LAYLA on Sunday, June 22nd at 8 p.m. at the Rooftop Cinema Club in Miami Beach. Directed by Amru Al-Qadi, the film follows a British Palestinian drag artist whose explosive performance at a corporate pride event leads to an unexpected romance. LAYLA explores identity, desire, and the tensions within the LGBTQ spectrum, all set to a bold soundtrack. LAYLA was an official selection at Sundance and Outshine Fall Edition 2024. For more details, visit outshinefilm.com. I saw the film. It's a great film. We had it last year. It has a very cool music, and it's it's very current, because he's Palestinian or she's Palestinian, and obviously I always hope for the white guy, but Why
are you gonna give away the plot? Do you know? Like, you know what I mean? And Bishop is like, I wasn't the white guy. I promise, right?
It's in the beginning of the movie, so it's not like just
right off. Okay. Didn't really think.
I love that Miami Beach Pride is doing something else aside, not doing something else aside from the Pride, but like having other events throughout the year, that coincide and work with other organizations. The Miami Beach Pride, Outshine, and doing it at this rooftop cinema.
Which is
that
great.
Rooftop cinema is everything. And like they had one, it was like an 80s movie. I can't remember if it was like Ghostbusters or something like that, but everybody like put on their little headsets and like watched the movie on this rooftop. And it was like incredible.
It's a great venue right across from the Regal in South Beach on Alton Road. It's a beautiful space. You can eat there too. They give you headphones. So it's just very cool. A lot of people can get in. So it's just like, I highly suggest you go see this film. It's a great film. It's a film for our time. So it's wonderful.
And I'm glad it's quality. I'm glad you say it's a good thing, you're going to enjoy it. But even if it were crap, go see everything trans, everything drag, everything gay, everything queer, because it's all under attack. So support anytime it's being featured, anytime it's being highlighted, anytime it's being voiced, so show up. And then if you love it, bonus. But we have to support, we have to show up anyway right now.
100%, 100%. Bish, what do you think, Bon? You gonna go see a movie on a rooftop in Miami Beach?
If they got air conditioning, yeah.
I'm saying.
I've seen the gigs here. They support the Queens very well. I know Jellica Boom is one that regularly performs there. So I'm just excited for any venue that not only books the Queens, but treats them with respect. So this is like a really cool venue outdoor. As long as your wig is glued down, you're going to have a great time.
Right. Well, Queer News Tonight looks forward to seeing you all at the Miami Beach Pride rooftop screening of LAYLA on June 22nd. And that is the big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight. Next up, let's welcome anchor Bonnie Builder. She's the premier South Florida bodybuilding drag queen and the owner of the Bonnie Builder Booty Camp, baby. Bonnie Builder Booty Camp. Bodybuilder Booty Camp, baby. So, Bodybuilder Black Excellence Stage, yeah, presented by Can, returns to Stonewall Pride Parade on June 14th. Tell me what's happening out.
Originally pioneered by Anthony Wynn Entertainment for 5 years, the Stonewall Pride Black Excellence Stage presented by Can Community Health is back for its 6th year on June 14th. The empowering stage doubles as the main stage of the Pride Festival on 6th Avenue and Wilton Drive. Be prepared to enjoy a lineup of amazing Black excellence performers curated by the stage MC, community advocate Ederick Johnson, a Can Community Health feature that includes a 2-flight raffle giveaway to those who get tested, the Glow Night Parade Call, AHF's AIDS Walk check presentation, and so much more. It all starts when the festival gates open at 3 p.m. and goes on until the festival closing time at 11 p.m. I'm looking forward to see more Black stuff at these events. We tend to be pushed to the side, boxed into certain venues, ostracized, sexualized for the color of our skin. So the fact that we have events here that are celebrating us for the diversity in our own community, because as a Black queer person, it is sometimes so hard to be both. To stand strong in your Blackness and stand strong in your gayness, because you feel like one side doesn't necessarily like the other all the time. So to have an event like this where it combines both is so comforting, is so reassuring, and is something that I expect all of us to go to.
I'll be there.
I love it. All the stages should be the Black Excellence
Yes,
stage, all right?
should.
But Bonnie can't be on all the stages. So
That's right.
why,
I can't be
right?
spread that thin.
Right? You know, I got to give a big shout out going out to Ederick Johnson. He's going to be an incredible MC. He just knows his stuff. He's an incredible advocate in his own right, and I just love it. So the Black Excellence stage is going to be fantastic. Me, Bonnie, and Eric Restiva will be on the stage for a little bit, calling out the parade on Saturday. So I'm super looking forward to that, and that's going to be a blast in itself. I mean, it's like the energy of 50,000 people, you know, the energy of pride. And like the Bishop said before, the Bishop said before, we've all got to come out to every pride, every parade, every LGBTQ plus event to show that there's strength in numbers and that we're not going anywhere no matter what.
And particularly this year, I mean, of all years this year, and what's happening this Saturday in Washington, D.C., we have to show up in numbers. We have to show up to represent and to fight for our rights and just celebrate, because they hate us because we are celebrating. We're not going anywhere.
And it's not enough that you're not mean to people or that you know, whatever. And you can't do everything, but you must do everything you can do, because silence is violence. And we don't have any time for that right now. We don't have any room for that. So if you can't do this, do the next thing, but do everything you can, because sitting it out is just not okay anymore.
At all.
I better listen to him.
Right, you better listen to him.
That's why he got a beard.
That's why he has a beard?
I say he has a beard. Listen to him.
I haven't had a beard since high school. Oh, hair. You mean hair. Never mind. Yeah, I got hair.
Yes, not Sarah. Right?
Oh, my God.
Queer News Tonight looks forward to seeing you at the Stonewall Pride Black Excellence Stage presented by Can Community Health. Thank you so much to Can Community Health for being the incredible title sponsor of this beautiful, beautiful stage on June 14th. And that is a big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight. Next up, let's welcome anchor Bishop Durrell Watkins, the senior minister at Sunshine Cathedral, one of the most important LGBTQ churches in the world. He is an auxiliary bishop of the Global Justice Institute and the current president of the Divine Science Federation. Durrell, Transsocial hosts Summer Barbecue Bash at Tropical Park on July 27th. Tell me what's happening out.
Well, I'm a big fan of Transsocial. Recently, they did a sensitivity training here for the leaders at Sunshine Cathedral. They do an amazing job, and so anybody interested in that, they're the ones to call. Transsocial will host its annual summer barbecue on Sunday, July 27th, from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. at Tropical Park. The event will celebrate the legacy of trans trailblazers like Sylvia Rivera and Marsha P. Johnson, honoring their impact on today's LGBTQ community. Attendees will enjoy delicious food, meaningful connections, and a day of pride and reflection. Open to all, whether newcomers or longtime community members, the barbecue will offer a welcoming space for celebration. More event details will be announced soon on transsocial.org. That's actually one of the things I love about them. They are super inclusive. They will even let you ask ridiculous questions that anyone else would find offensive and hard, but they want you to so they can fix it, so they can correct it. So when they say everyone, they really do mean it, and they really are welcoming, and they really are just generous and kind and amazing people. I love everything about Transsocial, and I love that they're honoring, because Marsha P gets a lot of press because she passed better. You know what I mean? Like she presented well. And but Sylvia was harder, you know, she just was harder, and she doesn't get the respect I think she deserves because she wasn't as glamorous really. And so that she's being included is it's super important. And they were friends, so I love that they're doing it both and that they are welcoming the whole community.
Well, and what a wonderful way to just celebrate the summer at a barbecue, right? We all love some barbecue, right? And just in an inclusive, safe space. And that's what Transsocial does, you know? We actually had our trans sensitivity training yesterday at Unity on the Bay for our congregants and leaders there. And it's such an important training. So Transsocial is incredible when they do that. And so big shout out going out to Morgan Mayfair, to Ashley Mayfair, to Jess, all the crew over there. What they do is just incredible. And this is a wonderful way to bring our family members, bring our friends, bring kids, right? And just bring them to Tropical Park, right? Which is the most Cuban park in life, right? And have a great time, you know, in
I think it's great that they're having it at Tropical Park, because a lot of these events always happen around, you know, either South Beach or Wilton Manors. This is taking these kind of events to West Miami-Dade County, where, you know, there's a lot of big community living in that part of the town. And they don't get the chance to celebrate, you know, and just gather. It's a beautiful park too. So I think it's great that they are bringing it to West Miami so that people can celebrate, and, you know, it's a good time. So.
There's a Queer News Tonight anchor that's also affiliated with it. Raj is it's on the board.
Raji, yes, I forgot about Raji. The Raji Nareen sign. You know her, and she's just incredible. So she's on the board too, so you know she's going to be out there also. So Queer News Tonight looks forward to seeing you at the annual Summer Barbecue by Transsocial on Sunday, July 27th. And that is the big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight.
And of course, let's welcome tonight's lead anchor, FayWhat. She is a legendary events host, a television and radio personality, and the host of the hotspots happening out the FayWhat show. Faye, fight like it's 1969. Stonewall National Museum archives and library to hold a second annual historic uprising reenactment on June 28th. Tell me, what's happening out?
On Saturday, June 28th, Fort Lauderdale will witness history come alive as the Stonewall National Museum Archives and Library hosts its second annual Stonewall Uprising reenactment. Beginning at 4 p.m., the event will recreate the pivotal 1969 uprising that ignited the modern LGBTQ plus rights movement. Stonewall National Museum Archives and Library, one of the world's oldest and most significant LGBTQ institutions, will welcome the community to honor the activists who sparked the revolution in a Greenwich Village bar. The immersive reenactment will feature actors, music from the era, and a tribute to icons like Marsha P. Johnson. Attendees can expect a powerful mix of protest, performance, and pride. Details at stonewall-museum.org. So I didn't get a chance to go to this last year, right? But I saw the videos and I heard the stories, and people were so affected by the reenactment, right? By the music, by the words, by the powerful actors, right? And, you know, this is just going to be incredible. We always have conversations about like the youth and how we need to make sure that they remember what LGBTQ plus history is all about. This is our civil war. Our Stonewall uprising is our civil war. And even though some powers that be are trying to erase LGBTQ plus history, it's still American history, right? And this is just such a great opportunity to bring those queer kids, bring the millennials, bring the Gen Zers, bring them to this reenactment and say, look, this is what the fight looked like back then. This is what started it all off. And we need you to take the torch and keep going.
Yeah, and since we can't teach this in schools because they don't let us, you know, we have to do it ourselves. This is the kind of things that people should be learning in high school.
Yes.
You know, this is the kind of things that people should know about. You don't have to be LGBT, but you should know that this happened and it was significant. It changed the world, not only our world, it changed the world for everybody, but we don't get to teach this in school. So this is wonderful what they're doing with this reenactment.
And it shows the power of protest, which is why they don't want you to know about it. It shows that you don't have to have a well-organized militia, you don't have to have a lot of money, you just can stand up and say, not today, bitches. And that can change the world. It did. And that's why they don't want you to know about it. So that's why every pulpit should be talking about it. In churches, that's why every museum, that's why every theater, community theater, any platform you have, we need to be telling stories. Because eventually enough people are going to get it. We're going to stand up again and we're going to change it all again.
Yes, and a big shout out going out to Robert Keston, the executive director over there at the Stonewall Museum. That man, he lives, breathes, eats Stonewall and our LGBTQ plus history, and he's making it a point to make sure that it doesn't disappear. So thank you so much, Robert, for everything that you do.
Queer News Tonight looks forward to seeing you at the Stonewall National Museum Archives and Library's second annual Historic Uprising reenactment on June 28. That is the big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight.
Now let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ plus story for today. I'm FayWhat, and let's queer up South Florida and Florida. Miami LGBTQ teens make history with prom at Vizcaya. They Cupid shuffled, they whipped, they nay-nayed, and yes, they shook it like a Polaroid picture. But this wasn't your typical high school prom. The historic Vizcaya Museum and Gardens in Miami transformed into a vibrant celebration of queer joy as 96 LGBTQ students gathered for the estate's first ever prom. With a dreamy theme of Into the Garden, students twirled beneath the stars in everything from purple corduroy pants and platform sneakers to flowing baby blue ball gowns, colors that matched the Biscayne-based sky. For many, it was their first time seeing Vizcaya. Built in the early 20th century, the estate has queer history of its own. Paul Shalfin, a queer artist, helped design the villa and lived on the grounds with his male partner. For Artemis Cruz, 17, a recent graduate of Jose Marti Mast Academy, this moment was deeply personal. Cruz skipped his school's prom, but helped dream up this one. The queer prom, organized by Safe Schools South Florida, is a response to Florida's tightening restrictions on LGBTQ expressions in schools. With support in schools fading due to the Don't Say Gay law, events like this are vital lifelines for queer youth. DJ Citizen Jane kept the dance floor moving with Chapel Rowan and 2010s throwbacks. While some students danced, others sketched architecture or just soaked it all in. The night ended with 9 students crowned kings, queens, and monarchs, a title designed to honor non-binary students. From the waterfront views to the fierce fashion and chosen family vibes, it was a prom, a moment, and these students will never, ever forget it. Oh my God, when I was in high school, prom looked nothing like this, all right? These kids said, oh, you don't say gay? Well, we say it louder and prouder in heels, under twinkle lights, and a literal palace, all right? Vizcaya was serving queer royalty realness, baby. And shout out to Artemis and Safe Schools South Florida and Scott Galvin for giving these kids the moment that they so deserved, all right? This wasn't just a prom, it was a resistance in rhinestones, baby. And the kings, queens, and monarchs, you better honor every identity on that dance floor because we are here for it.
Yes. I love seeing the diversity too, and how not hegemony, but harmony of it all. That you would see 3 girls. I hope they were a triad. I hope that you'd see a boy and a girl. I hope they were bi and or just good buddies. I mean, like you saw every kind in all these. It was just this great diversity and the joy that came with it. That's what the world is afraid of. That we make our own rules. We keep our own promises. We celebrate our own realities. Nobody wants to do with us. But they know, and I'm glad they had that experience because I hope they keep it. Because if they will keep it, they're the changers of the world.
Yeah, no, they think that because they don't say gay, things are going to change. Well, we're going to find a way around. We always do. So it doesn't matter how you try to erase us. We are going to find a way to represent us. Yeah. And I'm so glad that they are talking about not only kings and queens, but also
the monarchs. I love
that they're representing non-binary people. Yes. I think it's fantastic because, let's face it, prom is a very painful memory for some of us.
For many.
For many of us. And, that youth nowadays can find their own space to celebrate who they are. Yeah. It's fantastic. So kudos to these people.
I think we can all relate to this sentiment that we didn't get to experience the typical prom experience. Mm-hmm. We didn't get to court the person that we found the most attractive, ask them out, and then go there. Some queer people did, but us at Disabled, we did not get to experience that. Mm-hmm. So the fact that these young people got to do that so genuinely and organically, wear what they felt would make them feel the most best and look the best, and then just have a fabulous night without having to think about who at the event is going to see me, who do I have to avoid, like who am I allowed to dance with, what are the rules about that. Just imagine being in that space where you all are their age, a very long time ago, and just think about being in that space of just like, I can just unabashedly be myself here, dress what I want to dress as, and just be, and then be celebrated for it. Yeah. So many of them won. I hope they had the best outfits. If you have a great outfit, go to the next one. Dress better than that. But now there's a space for you to be queer at prom, and that's finally possible. And it wasn't for so long, and it's just so meaningful. So I'm very happy this happened.
And my tired ass prom was not only was not queer, it wasn't at Vizcaya. I forget what tacky bullshit place it was. I mean, it's beautiful,
Vizcaya, right? And I was thinking about that. I was like, Vizcaya is so foo-foo. Like when me and my wife were gonna get married, I was like, oh, let's go get married at Vizcaya. And then we got the Vizcaya price, and we're like, we can't afford Vizcaya price, right? So to see this prom at this beautiful place. One last thing, okay? The next day after this prom, on the front page of most of the newspapers online was a picture of the queer kids enjoying their prom at Vizcaya, right? That was the Sun Sentinel. That was the Herald, right? Beautiful. I loved that it made the front page, right? To those naysayers, to those folks that don't like us, to those folks that are not educated enough to know that love is just love. Right. That they had to see these queer kids on their front page like, wait a minute, what's going on at Vizcaya? What? A queer prom? Everything.
That was a one-finger blessing to all the homophobes.
Everything. So that is the big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight.
Now let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ story for today. I am Dino Mosquera, and let's queer up the USA view. Mass attacker caught on camera hurling rock at gay men in D.C. days before WorldPride. A disturbing attack in Washington, D.C. has left a gay man injured and shaken just days before he and his husband planned to attend WorldPride. Around 12:30 p.m., Adam Shower Mayhew was watching tennis on his couch when a masked individual approached his rainbow-decorated home and hurled a baseball-sized rock through the front window. The rock struck Shower Mayhew in the head, leaving him bloody. Husband Brian Shower rushed downstairs after hearing Adam cry out in pain. The couple believes the assailant may be a local teen who had previously yelled homophobic slurs at them. They also noted the suspect appeared to be wearing an ankle monitor and was accompanied by another younger teen. The incident captured on their home security camera is now under investigation. The couple is calling on the public to help identify the attacker and urging police to consider hate crimes charges. This is a sign of our times. I mean, people are getting bolder and bolder. It's crazy that we, in Washington, D.C., of all places, and people, everybody having cameras, that somebody has the balls to do this and without, fear consequences. It's just insane that this is happening, and it goes to tell you we need to be vigilant and help each other, and just stand up and go after these people because they had to have consequences.
Mm-hmm. The news cycle moves so quickly that this actually happened a minute ago, but you weren't hearing about it the next day or two after it already moved on. So I'm glad that we've circled back to this because it's still in play.
Yeah.
And it's still super important. So yeah, if you hadn't heard it before, I'm glad you're hearing it now because this is one thing caught on camera. This happens every day, and they're getting bolder and bolder because they know they can't.
Yeah. I mean, safety isn't negotiable. This guy was on his front stoop, right? Watching the game, we're all rainbowed out around him and he gets hit by a rock, I mean, I could read people's walking and that guy kind of looked like a teen.
Yeah.
He kind of looked like an unsure, human as he threw the rock and whatever, But the reality is that he's got an ankle monitor on, right? So there's got to be a way to find out, somewhere in that vicinity, or if it's the same people that were saying homophobic slurs to this gentleman or whatever. Look it up. They need to prosecute and find out who this person was.
Yeah, I'm a take us to church. Put belt to ass. The parent of this young person, put that belt to that ass. This is clearly homophobia, but also a lack of discipline towards your children allows them the free will to act an ass.
A fool.
A goddamn, sorry, I'm so sorry. A motherfucking fool. So I need the parent to discipline that child, old school, and take belt to ass. Because despite how you feel about your neighbor, you destroyed someone's property. Now your parents got to pay for that because they're going to find you, person. You going to have to pay for it, or your mama or daddy going to have to pay for it. And when they got to pay for it, belt to ass. We need some old school discipline on these youngins acting a fool. How dare you ruin someone's property like that? How dare you attack somebody? Say what you want, feel how you want, but don't you dare ruin someone's home like that. Their safe space, their sanctuary.
They could have killed him too.
They could have really maimed this man.
Yeah.
Belt to ass. Some old-fashioned country ass whooping to this person.
The wound was so close to the eye. I mean, that could have
yes.
So close, and I know, Dino, that ankle monitors turn you on, right? But this kid obviously didn't learn from getting picked up once.
In our community, we do not kink shame.
Celebrate. Come on, ankle monitor.
So he, but like Bonnie said, right? Belt to butt. Obviously, he did not learn from whatever happened that he got picked up the first time.
Though, that the home may be where he learned that hatefulness, though. Like, they're probably like, the people who taught him that are probably not going to discipline, you know what I mean? Like, he didn't feel comfortable hating like that just because he made it up one day. Like, he has heard a lot of bullshit.
It should be the easiest way to find this guy. If he has an ankle monitor, the police or the jail system should know who has an ankle monitor in that.
They do.
They should know who this guy is. Pretty simple. Why he hasn't been caught is beyond me.
Well, they're still looking into it. So if they do catch him, we'll definitely let you know. And that is the big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight.
Now, let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ story for today. I'm Bonnie Builder, and let's queer up healthcare. mRNA breakthrough offers new hope for HIV cure. A groundbreaking discovery in Australia is lighting up the path to a potential HIV cure. And it all starts with mRNA. Researchers at the Peter Doherty Institute for Infection and Immunity in Melbourne have developed a way to make HIV visible inside white blood cells. Using mRNA wrapped in lipid nanoparticles nicknamed fat bubbles, scientists were able to insert the material into cells donated by people living with HIV. These same fat bubbles were famously used to deliver mRNA in COVID-19 vaccines. Once inside the cell, the mRNA attaches itself to the HIV, making it easier to spot the virus, which usually hides and mutates quickly, creating countless variants. The new mRNA method, however, has been able to detect multiple strains. Dr. Paula Seval, one of the Institute's researchers, said, quote, "We have never seen anything close to as good as what we are seeing. We're very hopeful that we are also able to see this type of response in an animal, and that we can eventually do this in humans," end quote. Dr. Michael Roosh, co-senior author, added that this discovery might also help treat cancer. In the U.S., Dr. Anthony Fauci has echoed the promise of mRNA for HIV vaccine development. Moderna, in partnership with the Gates Foundation and others, continues its own mRNA HIV vaccine trials. While a cure is still years away, this new development gives fresh hope to millions around the world, especially in the queer community, who've long borne the brunt of the HIV/AIDS epidemic. Now, I said some incredibly smart and poignant stuff, and I know what I was talking about. But to just generalize the point, I'm so excited for news like this. It seems like we're constantly being dragged back into the dark ages. But when the pendulum swings back the other way, this is something that we're going to be able to grow and cling on to. This is so absolutely exciting. It's been how many decades since the 80s? Help me out.
A lot.
50,
Well,
I want to say. How
This
much?
broke in 82.
Yeah.
So
82,
yeah.
82, and now we are making major strides to a cure.
Well, Australia is not.
Australia.
So that's the problem.
And they're right next door, basically. So it's just a hop and a skip there.
No, but let's give us some credit. The mRNA came out of the United States. We have been working on messenger RNA. And thanks to scientists in this country, when we used to support science, when we believed in science,
Remember that?
that's how we got to the COVID vaccine in record time. So we shouldn't put ourselves down. We should put down people like RFK Jr., who's trying to shut down these kind of initiatives.
Right. Yeah.
But and here in this country, wonderful science has happened and continues to happen. We should encourage this. And companies like Moderna and Pfizer and all, they want to vilify pharmaceutical industry, which, they may have their issues. But thanks to these companies, a lot of good things have happened. And we got out of COVID in record time.
Yeah.
And the whole world benefit from it, from our work here in this country. Moderna is doing good work, and in fact, it's one of these vaccines that, at least with the COVID vaccine, where they needed to bring it to people in third world countries. And, Moderna is making a vaccine that is also deserve less of it doesn't have to be ultra cold to be preserved. So the way they're working, is going to benefit places in Africa, in Latin America, in Asia. So eventually, and thanks to scientists in Australia, of course, in other parts of the world, we're going to, be successful one day. I hope we don't shy away from this in this country in the next 4 years, because we seem to be going backwards.
That's what I'm saying. Haven't you heard of all the cuts? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Australia wanted to eradicate this, okay, and be done with it by 2030. And they were on their way, okay? I think in 2023, they only had 722, all right, new cases, okay? That's extraordinary, right? Now, here we are in the U.S. We're cutting all kinds of funding. They don't want to allow for folks to give out PEP and PrEP for free. We're going through it. We're going backwards, like Dino said.
That's what I'm afraid of. That if this happens, I know Australians are going to be able to get it. It's just going to be available. We're going to have to fight. We're going to have to, because there's going to be profit, because our health system is for profit. So there's going to be science is science. It's happening all over the world, but our science has a price tag on it that doesn't happen necessarily everywhere. So I'm a little concerned about the availability. I'm sure it'll be the best quality in the world, but I just hope everyone can get it. That's what I would worry about. I also want to say two more things about it, is that I've never heard the letters RNA said so seductively as Bonnie said them.
Say it slower, girl.
RNA. And the other thing is, I will do a benefit for Sunshine Cathedral, a fundraising benefit as Fat Bubbles. If there's a groundswell, I will become Fat Bubbles. I look good.
He is always looking for a drag name.
That's your drag name.
Fat Bubbles.
Bishop Fat Bubbles.
She will be fierce.
Fat Bubbles, bitch.
She will be fierce, baby. Fierce. And that is the big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Fat Bubbles. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight.
Now let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ story for today. I'm Bishop Durrell Watkins, and let's queer up gay culture. LGBTQ safe space no more? Jagex scales back RuneScape Pride events. In a story that's sparking debate across the gaming world, longtime MMORPG RuneScape is under fire after an anonymous employee accused developer Jagex of catering to American conservatism by scaling back Pride Month content in 2025. RuneScape and its retro counterpart, old school RuneScape, have long been sanctuaries for LGBTQ gamers, offering inclusive communities and annual pride events that many queer players say made them feel safe and seen. And this year, insiders say a shift began shortly after new CEO John Bellamy took charge. On April 25th, Bellamy announced that both games would skip New Pride Month content to focus on what players wanted. Staff pushed back, saying the content was nearly complete, and some even offered to finish it off the clock. However, management cited fears of political backlash behind this decision. In a video Q&A to address staff questions, Bellamy stated, quote, "I understand that RuneScape is precious because it is a safe space. It is an escape from reality, and the reality that we find ourselves in is changing. It is getting stranger, more troubling, less moral, I would argue. Games and studios are being canceled because of content that is perceived to be woke or representative. The pendulum is swinging back in a way we didn't expect," end quote. The company has since walked back slightly, allowing pre-existing Pride content to stay on a timer and greenlighting community-run Pride marches. But many at Jagex aren't satisfied. Well, let me say this about that. I arrived on this planet shortly after it cooled. I'm old, I'm ancient. So a lot of these words were new to me. I see all this hatefulness over here.
I'll stop telling you. Go ahead.
I am ancient. And so a lot of these words were brand new to me. But I am old enough to know what cowardice looks like. And that's the story I just shared, was a story of cowardice, and I'm tired of it because it's not unique. I don't have beef against this company. I know what gaming is. I do not veil myself of it. Well, not those kinds of games. But I'm seeing over and over people not doing what they know is right. What they know, because DEI is a bad thing. No, DEI is what we call it in Christianity is the gospel. Diversity, inclusion, and equity, that's the good news, for fuck's sake. So when people walk it back and pretend like it's bad, and but what if the politics, and what if the business, and what if the religion, and what if you did the right thing? What if you cared about people first and foremost? So I don't know a lot about gaming, but I know cowardice when I see it, and I'm sick of it.
You're so right, Bishop. I mean, the poor staff. Did you hear? The staff had
they tried to do the good thing.
Yeah, they tried to do their own thing, even saying we'll do it on our own time, right? Almost finishing all the elements that it needed. I mean, you know what's immoral is silencing queer joy. That's immoral right there, okay? You know, safe spaces, it shouldn't be seasonal. It shouldn't be because it's Pride, I'm going to give you a safe space. It doesn't work that way. It should be all the time.
But we'll put it on a timer for you.
But we'll put it on a timer for you.
But I mean, I give them credit because they're finding new ways to be bigots. These people, for real, seriously, they're
New ways to be hateful.
Oh, yeah, that's cool, isn't it?
Yeah, they're finding. I mean, who would have thought? You know, I know, but gaming is a huge thing in this nowadays.
Yes.
It's a huge community,
And it's a big thing in queer community.
It is
Understand
big.
that.
Well,
Okay,
yeah.
please
Because you can't
understand
be
that.
safe.
Gay geeks are massive community.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Husband, wow.
So right, so that they're finding this, you know, this uncharted territory, really, to be a bigot is insane. It goes to tell you, you can't let your guard down. These people will find any way to ruin the fun, even for the nerds.
Yes.
Come on.
Yeah.
It's not right.
Yeah. Fascism is real, Dino.
And we did, as you have a ministry in something called Second Life, which was gaming technology, and where you could have a virtual community. And we had a lot of people. They were either clergy in homophobic denominations, or they were kids in homophobic homes in Appalachia or whatever. And they could, as an avatar, show up, be who they wanted to be, have safe community, have a good time. We did that for years. We did that for like 12, 15 years. We did it for a long, long time. And so I do know the impact. I don't know all the games, but I do know that it's real community, and it is a way to be safe and to be true to who you are. And like Faith said, that can't be seasonal. And that can't be on a timer, and that can't be as long as it's profitable. I mean, I know that in capitalism, everything has to make money, or you can't keep it going or whatever. But you can also make money, and there are companies that show this. You can also make money by not being an asshole.
Hello.
Amen.
Hello.
And that is the big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight. Now let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ story for today. I'm FayWhat, and let's queer up lesbian and queer women. Lesbian Gina Ortiz Jones becomes first out queer mayor of San Antonio. San Antonio just made history, and queer history at that. Over the weekend, Air Force veteran Gina Ortiz Jones was elected mayor of San Antonio, Texas, becoming the city's first out LGBTQ person and third woman ever to hold the office. She defeated conservative Rolando Pablos in a hotly contested runoff election Saturday night. Speaking to supporters at a jubilant victory rally, Jones said, quote, "It was my name on the ballot, but you and I know decency was on the ballot, kindness was on the ballot, compassion was on the ballot, and San Antonio showed up and showed out. I look forward to being a mayor for all," end quote. The race turned ugly at times. Pablos, backed by anti-LGBTQ Governor Greg Abbott, accused Jones of using her middle name Ortiz to pander to Latino voters, even though she is proudly Filipino-American. Jones fired back, calling his remarks racist, and also brought a transgender Air Force drill instructor, Brandon, to the stage, calling out anti-trans executive orders that are forcing him out of office. She told the crowd, quote, "Leadership matters. Leaders do three things. They create opportunities, they protect opportunities, or they erase opportunities. It's unfortunate that the United States Air Force is not going to benefit from your talents because of bigotry," end quote. A first-generation American raised in subsidized housing, Jones is no stranger to adversity. She served in Iraq under Don't Ask, Don't Tell, came out at 15 and rose to become Undersecretary of the Air Force under President Biden, managing a $173 billion budget and leading 600,000 personnel. She's also a two-time congressional candidate and has worked in national security for nearly 15 years, including under President Obama. Through it all, Jones has stressed the power of representation and responsible leadership. As the first out LGBTQ plus mayor of one of America's largest cities, Gina Ortiz Jones is already leading by example. You know, Texas, you better work. You better work. San Antonio just made history, baby, with Gina Ortiz Jones, queer, Filipina, veteran, and now Madame Mayor. And baby, she just didn't win. She cleared the room. All right. She clapped back at racism, lifted up trans service members, and read her opponent like a banned book in our state of Florida. Gina said this isn't about politics. It's about principles. And I'm over here like, can she run for president next, girl? Because I am here for it. I'm here for it. Yeah. And in Texas, all right, under Abbott. I mean, that's like DeSantis' brother right there,
yeah,
you know?
I love that. That she is so accomplished anyway. Like she didn't look old enough to have done all those things, but she is. But she's done all these things, and I love. Texas needs more Mayor Joneses. Florida needs some Mayor Joneses. Tennessee needs some Mayor Joneses. Oklahoma needs some Mayor Joneses. Alabama needs some Mayor Joneses. Like that, she is what we aspire to. And so and that it happens in all places. And San Antonio is a great city, so it's not super surprising, but that it happened in Texas. And I hope that just spreads like hot grease. That more of that, just more and more good people clapping back against the hate and prevailing.
Yeah. No, and that this happened in such a large city as San Antonio. San Antonio, believe it or not, is one of the biggest cities in this country and a big city with a lot of Latinos. So I don't care if you're Filipina or wherever you come from, if you represent Latinos and immigrants, and a lot of them live in San Antonio, particularly in this moment in time, this is a great achievement for the community. Kudos to Mayor Jones, and I think it's just fantastic. And this is not the first lesbian mayor in Texas.
In Texas, no.
In Houston, that she was not long ago lesbian mayor.
She'd been a sheriff and then the mayor. So it's not, it's not unheard of.
This is the fourth largest city in this country. So this is fantastic. There are people in Texas that are progressive, and it doesn't matter what Greg Abbott does. We're going to come back. So just get it.
Yeah.
So.
Also, love lesbians. Just love lesbians.
Love lesbians.
And the sheriff of Dallas County for at least 3 terms, Lupe Valdez, she's also a lesbian. So there are good pockets.
They're spreading like hot grease.
Yes.
Wow.
More brown lesbians in office. That's what we want.
That's all you need.
That's all you need.
I love it. Well,
congratulations. This is a great story. We're very, very happy. And that is the big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight. As a nonprofit LGBTQ media organization, we would like to thank our viewers for supporting our mission to tell the stories of the queer community. We'd also like to thank the generous support of Jets Pizza. Jets is the LGBTQ community's most popular pizza in South Florida.
Take a look around these streets. Do you really think we woke up one day and said, yeah, the world needs more pizza? Nah, just a better one. Better, like the world's best pizza, Jet's Detroit-style pizza. Hand-pressed and baked to the thickest, crispiest crunch. You're welcome. Now visit jetspizza.com and save. Click on hot deals for special offers in your area. Jets, better because it has to be.
Those are today's headlines from Queer News Tonight. These anchors represent the best of our rainbow family.
If our community is important to you, share this news with your friends and family. Join the conversation on your favorite streaming platform.
Queer News Tonight is the only live LGBTQ plus digital television show in the world that is out of the closet and into the headlines.
We need your support. If our community is to grow and then thrive, we must tell our stories and bring them to the attention of the broader world. This is the only place in the world that tells these types of LGBTQ plus stories in motion and sound. That is the passion of Hotspots Magazine, Happening Out Television Network, and Queer News Tonight.
That's right, Bishop. I'm your anchor, FayWhat! And on behalf of these LGBTQ plus reporters, the incredible anchors of Queer News Tonight, including Dino Mosquera, Bonnie Builder, and Bishop Durrell Watkins. We will see you daily at 8 p.m. To our LGBTQ plus world, we hope that you will join us by embracing love, generosity, bravery, by being transformative, and, of course, being queer. Good night!